Okay, cool, bro.
Oh yeah.
Tell us what your name is.
I'm Khwezi. Me and Nanabu used to be like best friends, primary school. And we recently bumped into each other at the art fair. So we've just been catching up ever since. But yeah.
What's like your first memory of like meeting me?
Yeah. I don't know what grade it was exactly, but it was Nanabu's first day, and I'm not sure if I was the only one tasked with showing him around, but I was one of the people who had to show him around, and yeah, we just sort of hit it off from there.
Since reconnecting, you obviously didn't expect me to be like an artist.
100%.
What do you think of like the work?
Your pieces.
Yeah.
I think they're really dope. They're really dope. Just even reconnecting is insane that like you're in the space. It was surprising but not surprising because they are memories of you drawing and sketching. I mean, I remember even with the guys in Tlantla, like I remember we used to sketch a lot of like the Dragon Ball Z. There was a time with that era where everyone was just drawing Dragon Ball Z, Boondocks, and I just feel like you were also doing that stuff as well. So when I look back, it makes sense that you're doing this. But yeah, bumping into you, I was like surprised that like, oh shit, like you're an artist. But yeah, man, the pieces are really, really dope. And yeah.
What do you think the craziest thing about like the changes that happen from when you're a kid up until you're an adult are? Like what's the,
In my personal,
yeah.
life is expensive. Life is expensive. Life is hard, man. Like life is really difficult. There's a lot of things that our parents did to shield us, you know, from a lot of the realities of life. I feel like as a kid, it was a lot easier to dream, like to have a vision, you know, and oftentimes the people that we look up to now are those who never lost that childlike ability to see stuff that other people didn't sort of see. And, you know, one thing that, at least in my personal journey that I've seen a lot is it's been the older I've gotten, the more I've tried to reconnect with like my inner kid, because like that inner child has that creativity, has that energy. As a kid, it was never hard. Like if you like something, you saw something cool, like with us skating, we just saw that shit. Like, yo, that's cool. We hounded our parents to get skate. We got there and then we just started skating. Like there was never this thing of like, oh, what are people gonna think? What if you just, yo, that looks cool, I'm gonna do it. And it's like the older I've gotten, I've been like, yo, tap into that energy. Like screw everything else, tap into that. Everything else will figure itself out. You know, so it's like just trying to find this marriage between like the kid and like my adult self that has sort of seen the world for what it is and how dangerous it can be to protect the kid. So I feel like it's my adult version's duty to protect that kid so that that kid can like continue to give me the energy and the creativity needed to, yeah, just like build cool shit and like just add value in people's lives, you know. Yeah.
What do you think is the trade-off for doing what you have to do? And is it worth it for you?
I think, if I'm honest, right, one thing I never want to be is like a burden to anybody. I don't know, you can, if with the psychologist and we're chatting, I'm sure you could track everything that's happened to me and track it to that childhood trauma, whatever it may be. But I just don't want to like depend on anybody. I feel like I have the skills to do what's needed to take care of myself. So I think for me, it's like, first and foremost, I don't want to depend on anybody. But to not depend on anybody, I have to work, right? Work is 9 to 5, which chows a lot of that creative energy and that time, that period there, a lot can get done there. So it's a big trade-off in terms of your productive energy, giving it to work. Sure, you can say, okay, but 5 to 9 p.m., but at that time you're more drained. I feel like the 5 to 9 is where you sort of build. But the 9 to 5 era is where you sell, you market, that's when people are awake. That's when the world is awake. So the trade-off, yeah, it weighs on me sometimes where I'm like, damn, I could have done a lot more if I was doing this full time. But in doing it full time without that cushion, it's like, shit, I'm gonna have to like ask my parents for help or like depend again. And it's like, I'm not willing to do that. So it's like, I'm willing to squeeze every ounce of energy out of myself to like work in that 5 to 9. And even that midnight to 5 a.m. window is perfect because the world is quiet. I feel like when the world is quiet is when the ideas come and when you can build. But 9 to 5 is when you're executing, and because you need people to do shit. You need people to help get your ideas to a level where they should be at. So for me, it's been a big trade-off, and I do feel like especially this year with how things are moving, there is going to be a point where I'm going to have to leave the 9 to 5, leave that comfort of a salary coming in for the unknown, but oftentimes the beautiful stuff happens in the unknown where you don't know how you're gonna pay your bills, but somehow stuff always ends up happening. The universe conspires to help you get stuff done, but trusting that is difficult because it's like you don't know when something's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen eventually. But yeah, for me it's been a big trade-off, and I think the factors that have sort of kept me in the 9 to 5 is like just my ability to like pay my bills and not worry about like paying my bills, but also just being able to do things on my own time. And I just worry that if I lose that and I go depend on my parents again, there's that level of freedom that you sort of lose. But that level of freedom unlocks time. But staying in the corporate, you're essentially in a prison cell from 9 to 5. So I don't know, like which prison is worse than the other, but it's a big trade-off, man. A big trade-off. Yeah.
Oh wait, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
A short statement to your future self that can watch this, like 80-year-old sending you a message.
Yeah. Keep doing your thing. Like, you may be a late bloomer. That's always been your chat. You've been a late bloomer, but you've always been where you needed to be. It may not have been at the time you wanted it to happen, but like it happened regardless. There's a lot of stuff you've gone through that hopefully acts as a testament to just trusting yourself, doing what you got to do. Just keep going, man. Keep going, and in everything you do, all the L's that you take, there's many W's in there that are hiding. Just don't lose that ability to celebrate the small wins, because oftentimes it's that stuff that's kept you going, and you just gotta just do it. Just do it.
Oh, yeah. Shout out.
Oh, yeah.